All right, the Department of Justice issuing subpoenas to top Minnesota leaders, including Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and their alleged obstruction of ICE operations. Meanwhile, Attorney General Pam Bondi is in the state vowing for accountability after an anti-ICE disruption during a church service in St. Paul.
Whether it's a public official, whether it's a law enforcement officer, no one is above the law in this state or in this country. And people will be held accountable. This state is a mess right now. We've seen the chaos, and it's constant. And our men and women in law enforcement deserve to be safe. And that's what we're going to do in Minnesota.
We're blessed this morning to have the brilliant look from George Washington University law professor and Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley. I think I want to break it down pretty simple for viewers to begin with. These people have been subpoenaed. It's not like they've been indicted or even charged, or there's not even a confirmation of an investigation on them specifically. They've just received subpoenas. Can you explain what that means?
Well, good morning, Joey. The effort here is to gather information about the level of obstruction that the federal government has seen in Minnesota, which is off the charts. It ranges from the lack of law enforcement to the lack of law enforcement officers at scenes. The federal government can cite past investigations. During the civil rights period, there were state officials investigated for their opposition to the enforcement of federal law. Even after January 6th, some state officials were investigated by Democrats over their role in the election controversy. So what the administration is saying is that we're going to gather information as to the sort of foundations for this. Now, frankly, Joey, with some of the high-ranking officials that are targeted here, I don't see a criminal element. What I see is a craven political calculus. I mean, these are people who are clearly playing to the mob. But you also had this week the Attorney General, Ellison, say that he didn't think that there was a real crime at that church. Yeah. He actually said that the FACE Act doesn't apply to churches, which is just completely false. And he also said this was a purely First Amendment activity, which is also false. That is conduct. You can protest outside a church, but when you go into a church and disrupt it, that's conduct, and it can be criminal. So to have the Attorney General falsely state what the law is and then state his intention that this is protected activity really increases the need for someone, in this case the federal government, to enforce laws.
You know, you said you didn't see necessarily a criminal element. All of these individuals have put out statements essentially saying this is all politics. I could read them, but basically each of them have said they're just coming after me because they don't like me. I guess it is true that this makes life cumbersome for them. I mean, I guess they have to find an attorney to you know, represent them if this goes any further. But just because this is, what I read is it invokes an older, maybe Civil War era law. It's like just because horses don't matter as much doesn't mean it's not still illegal to steal one. I mean, there are old laws that still pertain to the way we run our government and the way government officials have to act.
Yeah, and I think, Joey, you put the correct emphasis here at the outset, that this is an effort to gather information to see where this obstruction is coming from. To make a criminal case is a significantly higher standard. I mean, you really do need to show an intent to obstruct. These people have been very open about their pandering to the mob. You know, they want to ride this rage wave, and particularly for the governor, it could not come at a better moment. He does not want to talk about fraud in the state. The same with the Attorney General, and so this is all quite predictable.
To imagine that this type of thing is a blessing because you're in so much other hot water. Jonathan Turley, thanks for joining us, and I guess we'll just watch and see what happens.
Thank you, Joey.